Hi Facebook, I'm Ellie Frost and I'm making a video today because I wanted to share this idea of abundance expands to match your desires. So I'm just going to share this on my page. So I've been talking a lot about let your desires in and why it's important to say yes to our desires and not shut them down and really get in tune with what's a true desire, like a soul aligned, purpose aligned, internal intuitive desire rather than an ego based desire of what we think we should want, right? But something that we really truly want, because our intuition would always lead us, and the desires we get kind of intuitively or we feel really deeply inside us are always going to be the ones that lead us to the most fulfilling life. They are our kind of inner being, intuition, whatever you want to call it, directing us in the direction of our dreams, of what would feel super fulfilling to us, of the life that we'd love to live. That's different to an ego-based desire, which is more about what we think we should have, what we want other people to think of us, but it's not really true for us. So I'm talking about those desires, right? But abundance, so that is, our wealth of anything, whether that's relationships, the quality of them, whether it's money, whether it's, business, clients, whatever, absolutely expands to match our desires when we say yes to them. And that concept, if you really ground it in, is really cool, right? So anything we have a true desire for, the abundance that's available to us expands in relation to it. So as long as we say yes to that desire, then the abundance is going to expand proportionately to enable it. And if you can accept that as a law, if you can accept that as fact, if you can believe that, then you don't have to worry about, I can't see how this is going to work out, or where the money's going to come from, or where the resources are. If you can believe and know inside that abundance expands completely to match our desires, that's what happens energetically. So on an energetic level, when we have a desire, the abundance is there for it because our desires are there for us, right? Hi Tina, exactly. So, our desires are meant for us. When we say yes to our desire, or when we get a true desire, a soul aligned desire, feel something inside of us that we really, truly, deeply want on a true level, then the abundance that's available for that, time, resources, money, whatever it is that we think would be limited in, or we need to go ahead, is actually there for us. Abundance expands to match our desires. And if you can believe that, then you can really start moving towards it in a much more secure way, because our desires are meant for us. They're meant for us to achieve. They're not like, it's not like we're here to be tormented with these desires. Desires are the heartbeat of life. We are meant to desire. It is our soul, it's our intuition, it's our inner self talking to us and pointing us in the direction of what would feel fulfilling, what would be expansive, what would be amazing in our life, and it's there for us. We have desires to move towards them. We're not programmed or made to shut them down and squash them down and numb them out and deny who we are and what we came to be. And all our desires are unique to us. We're all wired differently. Yes, abundance expands to meet our desires. And that is such a cool concept to ground in, because it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. And if you can think, I know for me, when you truly step into a desire, isn't it interesting? I don't know, for those of you who've been there, and I've been there several times, everything lines up. If I've truly lined up to my desire, whatever it's been, whatever resources I had at the time were kind of irrelevant, because if I needed more, they came. If I needed more time, if I needed more money, if I needed another way, it was just about literally being available for that desire energetically and the way it would work out. And if you really can step into this, thank you. If you can really step into this, it makes the whole process a lot easier. If you can truly believe that, that so many of us are waiting until what we would consider everything is in place first before we step into our dreams, before we own our business or the life we want, or move towards whatever it is we're going towards. We're waiting for outside things to fall into place first, and it's the other way round. We get the desire because it's there for us. We have to own and claim and decide that that's ours. We have to know it in our being. And if you can truly own this concept, which is absolutely true, that the abundance has already exists energetically for it. You might not see it, or you might not know who's going to show up. You might not know, I mean, any of us in our own business, right? Over the last 6 years, I didn't know who my clients were going to be, but they always showed up, right? My abundance matched my desire, and every kind of income goal you have, every, you know, whatever goal it is you have, whatever you're heading towards, whatever desire is talking to you, know that the abundance has already expanded to match it. And all you've got to do is keep following it, keep trusting it, keep knowing it and stepping in. We do have all we need now. And, you know, it's about being totally grounded, isn't it, in that, and being able to completely appreciate and be grateful and in wonder and awe of this kind of our life right now in this moment, and not need anything, but at the same time be true to what we feel inside, be true to our desires, be completely anticipating, expecting, moving towards them. And know that's the delicious part of life, is moving towards something without needing it, you know, without needing anything right now to change, but also having this knowing that it's all available for us. Our desires are there for us to move towards. They're not there to kind of tease or torture, or, you know, they are absolutely there for us. And inside of us, that inner knowing, that desiring part of ourselves is always our kind of sat nav towards fulfillment. It's always going to be like what's going to feel good to us. So we get to trust it. And it's really awesome to step into a space of just trusting it, knowing that we can be so grateful for a desire, right? Because a desire in itself is a possibility that's definitely there for us. We wouldn't have it otherwise. And I'm talking about true desires, desires that are soul aligned, that come from it deep inside, that we truly want, not the superficial desires that we try and talk ourselves into wanting because we think it's a good idea or we think we'd look good. I'm talking about the true desires we have. Know that on an energetic level, the abundance has already expanded to match it. The right people, the right way in which you can manage your time, the creative ideas if you're building your business, you know, everything that you need is lined up for you the minute you've had the desire. And if we could just always trust, right, that's true, then we're open and receptive to it and we can move towards it. And it's a really cool thing to know. You don't need to see all the hows, you know, you don't need to see any of the hows actually. Just know that if the desire exists, it's a possibility and it's meant for you, if it's a true desire in the way that I've described, and the abundance has already expanded. Our job is to accept that fact and to allow it in by not resisting it, by not contradicting it in our energy, by aligning our beliefs with that, by absolutely knowing the abundance has expanded to match the desire. That's it, full stop. There's nothing else needed apart from to take the inspired action to keep moving in the direction of. And I had a really cool discussion with a client this morning about, you know, sometimes taking any action in the direction of our dreams is truly helpful, because we'll always get sort of auto-corrected towards it. So it's about keep stepping in, even if you're not, you know, even if you're not feeling totally aligned. It's often a good idea to just keep stepping in, keep stepping towards, because the universe will auto-correct you. The universe will put you on track. So, and that action will always kind of lead you into the next action and lead you into the next thing. So taking action in the direction of our dreams is usually always a good idea in any way we can. And that's not always that. I'm not talking about struggling and pushing and going against what we feel inside. I believe you should give yourself everything that you want and need, because that's how you create a life that is completely mapped, you know, is completely centered around how you want to feel, which is that you are fulfilled and enjoying life and moving towards your desires. Everything we need is lined up for us, 100%. Must be how I connected here to hear your beautiful shares tonight. Thank you, love. Thank you. Everything we need is lined up for us. Absolutely right, 100%. There is divine intelligence that can see everything, whereas we can only see a small part of it. And we only have the experience of our past or what we've experienced, right? So we can't even imagine what has to unfold in order for our kind of dreams to come true, or our business to be where we want it to be, or the relationships to come in. So all we have to know is the desire is enough. The desire is enough to tell us it's there for us. And if when you really trust that, then you're really powerful in what you can create, because you're not looking outside of you for the world to tell you that it's okay. You're not looking for someone to confirm it. You absolutely know it, because I've got the desire. I have the desire for this, and it's a true desire. It's a soul-aligned desire. It's a purpose-driven desire. It's a desire that I feel inside, deeply inside of me. So I know I can trust it. And then I also know that I don't need to get too worried about how that's going to come about, because the abundance has expanded to match my desire. That's how it is. That's how it always is. So I don't know exactly what that looks like. I don't know how I'm going to get from my current situation to that new one that I've obviously, brought in and called in and I'm moving towards. But at the same time, I don't really know. And as long as I can trust and believe that the abundance matches my desire, then all I've got to do is be energetically available for that and nothing else. And the way that we really, collaborate and go with that process is we decide that we're only available for that, right? We decided that the desire is true. We trust this. We trust that the desire is here because it's there for me. We then trust that the abundance has expanded to match my desire, because of course that's exactly how it works. So therefore, all I need to do is trust that and keep acting in alignment with that in order to bring it about, knowing that I'm completely on course. I must be, because I'm trusting that, and I'm following my intuition. I'm following my guidance. I'm completely available for it. I'm not denying it in my energy by acting and acting in a way that would contradict that. So where we get into resistance and contract our energy is when we believe or think in ways that would deny the possibility of that desire. If you've got that desire, it's yours. If we follow that, it absolutely will unfold in the most effortless, least resistant way. But if we start acting in ways that would deny that, if we start giving our power away and looking for the outside world to kind of confirm it to us first before we trust it, then we're contracting our energy. We're contradicting our desire. We're denying that all the resources have already lined themselves up for us. Of course they have. That's how law of attraction works. That's how it works. So, those are the biggest things to trust. I trust my desires are there for me because I have them and I feel them deep inside, and I know that that's what I get to trust. I don't need to look at the outside world to confirm them back to me. It's enough that I feel it inside. And secondly, the abundance expands to match my desires, so that must be done. And I don't need to know exactly how it's going to be, and the delightful journey is not knowing exactly how it's going to be, being available for the limitless ways in which things can work out for us, in which we can trust this so deeply that we just get to dance with it, and we get to be surprised and delighted by the universe, rather than what most of us do, which is like have the desire and then demand to see all the steps and all the ways in which it's going to work out before we'll jump in, which one always contracts our energy and makes us not available for it most of the time, and two, or puts us into resistance, which is like an internal battle of, it's just not a great space to hold energetically, and it doesn't move us forward very easily. And two, we deny its possibility. Every time we take and, think, act or believe in a way that doesn't confirm this, we're basically transmitting to the universe that we don't want it. We're not available for it energetically. We haven't stepped into it. We're choosing something else, and we do have free will. Just because your desires are there for you, just because your dreams are there for you, does not mean you're going to get them. And it's not because it's not a loving universe, it's because we have free will and we still have our own choices to make, so we can choose whether we're going to step towards or against. And all the time we're either moving towards or against. There's no neutral. Everything has momentum here, so everything gains momentum. So whichever way we choose to go, we're either pushing for or against. We're either pushing for and against. And if we want to manifest things faster and we want to move towards our dreams faster, we want to be flowing with them, right? And that's not hard to do. Sometimes it's a question of just letting go, and we'll find the path again. Sometimes when we just let go, we get kind of that's why people teach a lot on surrender. It's about like just going with the flow, allowing that kind of intuitive flow to come through you, tuning into the energy of what we're trying to create and allowing that through. Of course, it's meant to feel unfamiliar if we haven't been there before. Of course, it's meant to feel new. But, that doesn't have to be so scary when we can really ground in these principles and really, really trust and believe in them. It gets to be really super fun. You can relax and not know how it's going to work out. You can relax and revel in the excitement of not having it all mapped out if you can ground in and trust these principles, which are absolutely true. We know when we're going towards our dreams in a way that is exciting, even if it's a bit scary, or when we're pushing against things because we're trying to force things or push things that aren't really aligned. Alignment doesn't always feel without any kind of fear, but it's kind of an excited fear. It's kind of, and the more that we can align with our dreams and desires, the more we can say yes to them, the more that we allow them in, the more fulfilling our life gets. It's like the whole thing gets fulfilling because we're only available for that, right? And then we have to trust ourselves inside, because in our heads we always think we know what's going to be the most fulfilling life for us, and it's good to be imagining what that could be. But at the same time, the universe gets to surprise and delight us. It gets to show us that or something better. It knows, our soul knows, our intuition knows actually what's going to be the most fulfilling way for us to grow our business, what's going to be the most fulfilling life for us to have. And it always wants to pull us there. It always wants to deliver that to us. And all we've got to do is listen and be available for those messages and keep saying yes to our desires. If you desire it, it's going to be fulfilling. So why not just say yes to it? Why not step into it? And most of the time, what people are getting stuck on is not believing that the resources are going to show up, or they can't see how they can get there from where they are. If you know, and it's true, abundance expands to match your desires as soon as you just agree to your desire, as soon as you say yes to it, that isn't going to be a problem. So if you didn't have, if you truly knew that the abundance was expanding to match your desires and already had, how would you show up? What would you be doing? What would you be moving towards? Take that out of the equation and then decide what you're going to do and what you're going to create in your life, because it is the absolute truth. It's a universal law. That is how it works. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Hope you have a great evening. I'm doing a 6-week program next month, which is all about moving deeper into purpose and showing up in another level of impact and leadership. So message me if you want to know more about that, and I'll speak to you guys soon.